Alright, so look, I'm gonna get straight into this. The reason why you should subscribe to this channel, yeah, is mainly because at the end of the day, the knowledge we bring forth is the truth on roles and relationships, so you can have a better dating and relationship experience, whether you're a man or a woman. And the other thing is, you know, we dive deep into some subjects to do with in and within the African and Caribbean diaspora. That's why you see our logo to do with Africa. But also on top of that, there's healthcare as well. But we mainly are focusing on roles and relationships. Now, that's why you are actually seeing us everywhere. Okay, you are seeing us everywhere because of two reasons. One, because our marketing is effective. Two, it's because subconsciously you want to be empowered with the right knowledge that we offer. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Yeah, I can't break it down any simpler than that. Yeah, it's time for you to level up. Just as you hear that so-called Storm Sierra, it's time for you to level up. All right. So, but let me break down what the Alkebulan Trust is really about and all that stuff there. Other than, like I said, empowering you with the right knowledge and stuff like that. Let me just give you a brief history of this organization. Okay, so once upon a time ago, I was around 7 years old, 6, 7 years old. There was a humanitarian, also an entertainer. You could say that they're the greatest of all time in those respective fields. And he goes by the name of Michael Jackson. And he inspired me to want to help heal the world. At 6, 7 years old, I know, right? And I didn't imagine that I would actually do something. I'm 7 years old, like 6, 7 years old. What? Come on. And anyway, so years pass. I ended up doing something else that I wanted to do, because that's what happens when you're a kid. Sometimes you say you want to do one thing and then boom, you end up doing other things. You get it? Unless your parents or your guardian or whoever guides you on that path. But even when they do guide you on the path, sometimes kids change their mind to be like, oh, I don't like that anymore. Because before, I wanted to be a professional footballer. Did my trials at Peckham Rye Park. Get me in Peckham Rye and that. That didn't really do. I didn't really do too good. After I don't know how long it lasted, but yeah, we found the truth. I just wasn't for it. Like I just wasn't for it. But what was I saying? Alright, so basically, I ended up wanting to do music because I ended up seeing so they do their thing, and I think, raw, like there's a bunch of them. They all look similar to me, and they're actually from South London. I was raised in South London, so to me it just made sense. And anyway, then I ended up hearing about like getting more into hip hop culture rather than I still listen to garage and grime and stuff like that, the early days of grime. And yeah, what happened was I started to learn about artists like KRS-One, and he's known as the teacher, which is interesting. And I bring this up because he was putting knowledge in his music. You understand? So that's what I was doing when I was doing music. I was putting knowledge in my music as well. So after a while, you know, I got to a certain stage in my life, and I thought, if I don't get to a certain level, I'm gonna stop this thing. And not only that, I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out, because I see the way that they mistreat Michael Jackson. I'm thinking, hang on, this is one of the greatest humanitarians of all time and one of the greatest entertainers of all time, and you're publicly ridiculing him, and like for what? Just to sell your tabloids? For like, it made no sense to me. So I'm thinking, I don't know how he handles that, and I don't know how I would handle that. And me, in the past, before knowing how to be a man, I probably would have wowed out. Like those who know of me from my school days, primary school days, they would know, even in year 7, like half of year 7, first term of year 7, I was a wild child. I was like a loose, wild lion cub. That's what I was like. But anyway, so this ain't really about me. This is about the Alkebulan Trust and how I got started. So let me get more into that. So basically, what happened was I ended up having a conversation because I ended up seeing. No, this is what happened. I saw one artist, Nigerian artist. She was doing something as well, and she was doing something to do with health, like healthcare. And I thought, right, that's dope. I want to do something as well. So I'm like, alright. So let me see what I can do. So I had a conversation with one of my aunties that was living in Nigeria at that time, and then she mentioned infrastructure needs to be rebuilt, and I'm like, raw. Like that just for some reason, that words or those words, infrastructure, that word there needs to be rebuilt. Those words, for some reason, it triggered like a creative in me, like the creative mode in me to try and solve this problem. And what was interesting was, I thought, okay, alright, I had a conversation with my ex at that time, and boom, the idea, let's just build schools. Let's start off like in Ghana, because she's from Ghana, innit? And at the end of the day, I thought the idea would be great if every African and Caribbean country that got independent, quote unquote independent, we know they're not really independent yet, but let's speak that into existence. They're gonna be really independent, like free from neo-colonialism. But anyway, so I wanted us to do it in that order. And so to cut a long story short, a few years passed by, like just trying to chop up the ideas, make sure it sticks and all that stuff. There, like you have to do your research. I was doing research at the time. That's what it was down to, just doing research, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, throw ideas out there. And it turned out that idea didn't really work. It could still work, don't get me wrong, but with certain things that are beyond our control, it wouldn't make sense. And so then the idea dived into something different, where it was online courses, and I thought, right, that makes sense. But obviously, there's some people in Africa that don't have access to the internet like that. But there are some people that do have access to the internet in Africa as well. But also, there are people in the UK that have access to the internet, and they can learn what they learn, and then it will be like a trickle down effect. You see what I'm saying? So they would end up, teaching their, let's say like a woman watches it, and then they end up getting with a guy. Then he watches it. Then they watch it together, or they learn together, should I say? And then they end up having kids. And then what they learn in the online courses, they end up teaching their kids, teaching their children. And then the knock-on effect that when their children have children, they will teach their children. Do you get it? So I was like, when I was thinking of that step-by-step process, I'm like, that makes sense. It may seem wrong, but that is the most effective way, and that's how nature is. That literally is how nature is. A parent will teach their children, and even if they're not physically there at that time, there's some things that they do and they don't do that children pick up on, and they're literally teaching them. And that's one of the courses we have as well, was to do with parenting. But so I ended up having a conversation with one person a few years ago. A couple years ago actually, to be more precise. And it was interesting because what he said to me was very profound. I'm not going to mention his name out of respect, because I don't think he knows I'm doing this video. But at the end of the day, he said something. What did he say? He said something about, oh, what do your target market really care about? And then it just made me think a little bit deeper, and I realized most of them actually genuinely really care about themselves. Genuinely, they care about themselves, and they care about their, their dating life and their relationship life. That is what they genuinely care about. And since then, I've started to formulate, content around that. And as you can see, this is why as you can see, I mean, yeah, it's working, right? So I'm grateful for that conversation that happened, because that literally changed everything. It literally changed everything. Now, here's the thing. What I haven't mentioned yet, which I'm going to mention now, is initially this organization started off as supposed to be a non-profit organization. And the problem was, because I registered the name, and then because I wanted to make sure that name stays there, and I didn't want people to try and nab that name. And then it expired. You got to renew it every year with you got to renew it every year. So I was like, okay, the money I had at that time, I could only afford to actually, have it as a public limited company or a limited company. But I just changed the name into an Igbo name. I believe it's an Igbo name, but I'm not gonna be dishonest here. I'm gonna be real with you. Because here's the thing. So I registered as that, because you can't register the word trust. And and I thought maybe if I still try to run it as a non-profit organization, that would be fine until the money raises up to levels where I can actually start to change it over to a non-profit organization and stuff like that. And then there was the whole process of understanding the charity commission. You have to raise up to $5,000 or something like that. So there's certain criteria that you have to meet, and the company weren't meeting that. So at the end of the day, there's levels to this. So I thought, okay, let me think about this properly. Let me think, like, the end of the day, it's the mission statement that really matters to me. And the mission statement is basically to rebuild the infrastructure in and within the African and Caribbean diaspora. Yeah. Now the infrastructure is just not the physical; it's the mental, it's the mindset. Yeah, because the mindset is everything. And So to cut a long story short, I had a conversation with a self-employment specialist. That's what they call them, at the job center. This was in 2019, by the way, when I had this conversation with this guy. And then like he said, you do realize that people are gonna, what did he say? He said something like there's gonna be a miscommunication or something along them lines because of the name, the Alkebulan Trust. They're gonna think it's a non-profit organization, and I can get that, but the truth of the matter is, I could use the Igbo name, but I've already built the business and I've used that actual name, the Alkebulan Trust, and I'm gonna stick with it. The logo, I could change it, but the logo, it just makes sense to stick with what is already there. Like, and people are like, you're seeing the brand everywhere. You're seeing it everywhere. So there literally is no point in trying to change it. That's like, I don't know, your favorite brand. Like, there's other brands that can change their logos, but changing their name, they would more or less change the spelling rather than just the whole name. Do you get it? So yeah, I mean, it is a tricky situation, and not even tricky. It is a sticky situation. I can definitely understand if people have an idea that it's supposed to be a non-profit organization, and it's not a non-profit organization, but the name insinuates that it is. Like, I completely get it. But listen, that's life. We move forward. The mission is still the same, you know, and at the end of the day, if you want to be empowered with the right knowledge in regards to, you know, having the best type of relationship or dating experience that you want, then I strongly recommend that you stay subscribed to this channel. Well, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notification, because you're going to see more content surrounding that. And then also, if you click the link in the description box below, there is a link where it says become a member of the Alkebulan Trust, which is more important. When you click on that, you become a member of the Alkebulan Trust. You get access to online courses such as roles and relationships, and that's where you're going to learn more, so you can actually have a better experience. Because the truth is, you need to know the truth so you can live your truth. And then the other thing I'm going to mention is, in regards to, there was something else that it totally slipped my mind. But oh yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna say, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you're gonna see more from us, and also you're gonna learn more, some parts on how to truly go about embarking your journey in terms of learning your ancestral roots. Yeah, I ain't gonna try and disrespect no other organization that are trying to help people find their roots. If that's their thing, that's their thing. But there's certain things that I've seen that I thought, we can do better. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it. At the end of the day, all I can say is stay tuned. There's gonna be more different type of content, and you know, obviously, like I said, roles and relationships. You're gonna see more content around that. You're gonna see more content around music as well, and you're gonna see other type of content. For now, though, what I would just recommend that you do, like I said, click the link in the description box below, so you can become a member of the Alkebulan Trust right now, so you can learn every single piece of information that you need to learn, so you can be empowered with the right knowledge, so you can live your truth to the complete fullest. But on top of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The link, not the link, the subscribe button's right there somewhere. Click that bell notification, and yeah, see you on the other side.